Let's move over to Europe, where high-stakes talks on the Russia-Ukraine war are set to begin in Paris, with key American and European officials gathering to push for a possible ceasefire. President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio will join counterparts from France, Germany and the United Kingdom for what's being called the most significant transatlantic engagement on Ukraine in months. Ukraine's foreign minister and defense minister have already arrived in Paris, accompanied by President Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, who confirmed that they will be meeting with the United States and European representatives to discuss security and peace. European diplomats are expected to press the US to turn up the heat on Moscow, calling for more direct pressure to secure a ceasefire. This comes just days after a Russian strike on the city of Sumy killed 35 and injured hundreds. This meeting also follows Witkoff's latest talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, where he claimed that the Kremlin leader is open to permanent peace. President Trump has pledged to end the war quickly. However, his push for a ceasefire has yet to produce concrete results. We are joined by Dr. Sergei Dvoryanov, President of the IDC Russia and Director of the WHD International Board, live from Moscow. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Dvoryanov. So these are said to be the most significant transatlantic talks on the Ukraine war for months. What do you make of the negotiations of Marco Rubio and US Envoy Steve Witkoff in these matters, and what are your expectations from Paris, Dr. Dvoryanov?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. And I can see that right now it's a lot of challengers in front of the European politicians and the American government as well. We can see that Donald Trump is in very complicated position right now because he has his own opposition, like Joe Biden start to blame him, and he's in deep conflict with the European Union and also big challengers, Asia and China, and his issue with Mexico. Same thing with European politicians. We can see that our modern world is a lot of conflicts. That's why I can see that only one way to solve all this problem, we should prepare some strategy of win-win movement when we can when we can completely break down stereotypes and open for dialogue. First of all, of course, our expectation of Russian Federation that peace should exist on the condition where Ukraine never and ever will join to NATO Union, because it's very clear our position, very strong position of our national leader, that it should be denazification of Ukraine, yes. Legal law about a possibility to Russian language. And this condition is completely not acceptable, unfortunately, for European politicians. That's why, of course, they should break down stereotypes and make Ukraine a neutral country, as simple as this.
Dr. Dvoryanov, it's hard to talk about this conflict with obviously not mentioning the strike in Sumy a few days ago, where 35 civilians were killed. If incidents carry on like that and these talks are ongoing with President Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and their diplomats, do they think that the Russian way of warfare is going to affect these talks and the Russian-US relationship long term?
See, during the war, of course, we can expect a lot of losses. In Sumy region, during the Russian attack, it's not only civilians was died, it was the soldiers, which was confirmed from the Ukrainian side. And there was a main target of Russian attack, not civilians, of course. And we can see some kind of some historical events which can change the policy and can change the history. For example, during the election, Donald Trump was very closer to be killed. If he will be killed, of course, it will be completely change the picture of the modern history. But this one particular case with the Sumer, it's not can change the whole picture of deep conflict between Russia and Ukraine. It's just only one small case, which again improved that we should negotiate with peace on the acceptable conditions of both sides. It's very easy. We should negotiate.
Yes.
We should make Ukraine neutral country. Of course,
okay.
We should definitely make some denazification of this country. Yes, and join historical regions which already belong to Russian Federation.
Yes. Dr. Dvoryanov, thank you very much for joining us.